So you're watching this video from home, right? And you love the game of golf, and you've been racking your brain to try to come up with some way that you can bring your love of the game into your home or some space associated with your home. Well, I've got good news for you. It can happen. Today, we're taking you behind the scenes of the leader in the world of home golf simulators, customized spaces, the best equipment and gear in the business, and all of it to fully immerse you in a realistic golf experience that you can enjoy forever. Today, we tell you the story of the indoor golf shop, so stick around. Hello friends, I'm Bill Hobson. Thank you for joining me as we talk about this world of in-home golf simulators and working with the best in the business, the indoor golf shop. You know, there are so many elements, so many factors involved in making sure that you have the best setup for whatever your space is. Maybe it's your basement, maybe it's your garage, maybe it's a new build structure. But you've got to make sure that everything from the projector to the software to the screen to the surroundings, to the turf, to the hitting surface, and all of those elements are a perfect match for your space, for your game, and for how you most want to use all of it. And that's why I'm excited to make a road trip to Texas, just outside of Dallas. You don't have to come here, but we did, because the indoor golf shop has a story to tell. It is a story of rapid growth, of passion for the game, and of the kind of customer service you really don't find very often anymore, any place. So let's take you behind the scenes of the indoor golf shop. And I have a feeling that by the time we get to the end, you're going to be making a call or visiting the website, because it may very well be time for you to fulfill your dream of your own home golf simulator.
We make dreams come true, is kind of what we say, and it's been a wild ride, but a very fun ride and a rewarding ride. Just the past few years, as our business has grown, as people have become more aware of, indoor golf and simulators and launch monitors, and really what we try to do every day is to serve those people, because we know it's confusing, it can be complicated. There's a lot of different information that's out there, and we just really try to take that approach of we're here to serve them, we're here to help them. One of our big values as a company is to be a caddy, and just like a caddy on a course, with the golfer, they're there carrying the bag, they're walking down the fairway, they're giving them the yardage, and trying to make them enjoy the game more, play the game better, and that's kind of what we do as a company. So it's a really rewarding time.
It's become more and more realistic for consumers to have something like this in their space. And I say their space because everybody's using a different space, right?
Yeah, it's the way it is, and we get calls and emails and chat or whatever it may be. People have something unique that is in their home or in their garage or in their business, and that's what we really help and strive to do, is to figure out what kind of combination of things could make it work the best in what they have, because nobody has the same space, and it's not a one size fits all approach. It's very different for everybody. So it's fun and it's challenging, and the customer appreciates the help that we can provide them.
And the ultimate end result of all of it, it's a gathering place for friends. It's a practice place for diehard golfers, or for some, it's a revenue generator if they're a business. Sure. But everybody wants the most realistic experience possible. And that includes the turf, the environment, the surroundings, the projected image. So How does Indoor Golf Shop help kind of put all those pieces together?
That's a great question, and it's one that we really want the customer to think about, is all the pieces to this. They all matter, and you're gonna notice a difference between this type of turf or this type of screen, and really you don't wanna take shortcuts on those things, because it's a big investment for a lot of folks, and they don't wanna have any regrets at the end of the day, or after a couple of years they wish they would have done this different. So that's what our team does, and we give them a lot of options, and there's a lot of different price points now. So we want to make sure that they understand that quality is number one, and that's what we do with our manufacturing and our operations, is that we make the very finest materials and products that we can, because we know at the end of the day these are going into someone's home or someone's business or office or whatever it may be, and it's going to be a fixture in their home, and the last thing that we want them to be is disappointed at the end of the day. So everything about this, from the technology to the things that they're hitting off of or that they're hitting into, needs to be up at the highest level that they can afford or that they can have work in their space.
In the time that we've spent with your team here at the facility, I have been amazed, blown away by the attention to detail from every part of the process, from the literal cutting of the rug to the packaging of everything, to the loading, to the shipping, and ultimately the end consumer delivery process. I mean, I've literally been on the receiving end of that.
Right.
What is that wow factor that you want customers to experience when they interact with your team?
We do talk about that a lot, and the wow factor, and that this is something for most folks that they've been thinking about for a long time.
Yeah, it's not a spontaneous decision.
Not at all. And we know that, and when they're talking to us for the first time, we want that experience to be what they expect. And they're expecting this kind of big moment for their life. And as a golfer, like, this is happening. I'm going down the road now to make this a reality. So our team is very aware of that, and that it starts at that initial phone call or that initial email or chat online, and then it goes all the way through to the delivery point, and even after delivery, where we're still talking with them about their technical setup or about any kind of design feature or how you install this or that. And it carries on through, and that's one thing that is really unique about our business, is that we're establishing that relationship with the customer from the very beginning, and it could last months or maybe even a couple of years, where they know our people by name and they have that relationship and that trust factor, because it's a big product, it's a big purchase, and they don't want that disappointment or that frustration, and we know that. So our team comes into it with that mindset of, we're going to help them no matter what issues they face and no matter how long it's going to have to take to kind of get them to the end goal.
And of course, every one of these sim setups involves a launch monitor. There is a wide menu of launch monitor choices on the marketplace today, and when you work with Indoor Golf Shop, you can pick which one works best for you, right? You don't mandate that they use this particular one. Maybe it's space related, maybe it's budget related, but how does the launch monitor aspect fit into this experience?
Yeah, and something about our business, we call ourselves brand agnostic, and we don't have a favorite, and we test these, and we know the ins and outs of every launch monitor that we sell. And in fact, we say no to some of the brands that are out there. We want to carry the best that are high quality, that deliver what they promise. So our team tests every launch monitor, the new in introductions, and so we know what is different about each of them. One of the number one questions our people asks of the customer is, what do you want out of this? What is your end goal? How are you going to use this? Let's really understand what they're going to use it for and what they want it for, and then that way we can really dial it in and know this is going to be the one they want.
Not just a cookie cutter kit that you're buying, right? You want to have the conversation with the Indoor Golf Shop team and say, here's my space, what would you suggest?
Yeah, and that's where our business has evolved over time, is now we kind of cover the full gamut of options. So there's a lot of those folks, me included, that's more of the DIY. Let me kind of piece this together over time, and let's start in my garage, or let's start even in my backyard with a net and just kind of stair step it. We have that. We have those options for them. And then you have here's the package, here's the kit that you just get delivered to your home, and then you can assemble it yourself, and we'll be there guiding you along the way. And then we have the full-blown custom design and build, and where you're moving walls and maybe raising a ceiling here or there. And so there's something for everybody now. And that's where we come into play, and we have something to cover all those questions.
Yeah. I want to talk with you about some specific elements of the kit, so to speak. Let's start with the actual point at which club meets ball and ground meets wrist. because much like the old NFL players used to play in Philadelphia on carpeted cement, you can make a wrong choice in the actual contact surface and injure yourself. And I know Indoor Golf Shop's hitting strip has won awards for how good it is. What is special about it?
It is, and that's absolutely right. You don't want to take any chances with that impact, and you can really injure yourself and have joint pain and whatever. So we did develop the SIG Pro Softy, and it is by far our most popular hitting strip and hitting mat that we carry, and our customers rave about it. And it really is taking that impact and making it as forgiving as you can, as possible, really, giving that realistic feel that you would have out on a fairway, and then eliminating that joint, vibration and that deep impact that you would get from most other turf. So it's designed with a thoughtful design and creation, and it's got a foam insert in there, and it, instead of it's got a cavity, and that foam captures that air at impact, and then there's release valves that releases that air. So it doesn't create this very rigid and hard impact like so many do. And the last thing you want to do is buy something like this, install it in your home, and then injure yourself and not be able to use it. And even the strip design is different than most, because after a year or two of use, you pull that out and order a new one and drop a new one in there, and now you got a fresh strip just like you had at the initial buy.
Let's talk about the screen. You've also been highly commended for the quality of the screen. We're looking for a couple things. One, we want it to receive the image well, so it feels like we're actually playing the golf course that we've downloaded. We also don't want it to bounce back like a snare drum and take out the kids who are watching from back behind. So what all goes into the Indoor Golf Shop screens that you make here?
Yeah, it's very specific and intentional about this screen, how we design it, how it's a triple layer construction. And what that does is it eliminates that noise, which you talked about. It reduces that bounce back. It has that sharp, vivid image like you talked about. And then also the quality and the durability, because the last thing you want to do is put one of these up and then a couple of years later you're having to pull it down and replace it. So the durability, how it captures a ball and it doesn't break through, some screens you'll bust through it if your ball speed's high enough, and if your spin's high enough, it's going to create that impact that the ball shoots through and hits that wall or glass window behind it. So we are very, very proud of the SIG Pro screen, the premium screen. It has been tested and compared to the other ones that are out there, and it is by far the top rated screen on the market. And we stand behind that, and we want people to be really, really proud of what they have and pleased with the performance of the screen.
Not everybody will end up with a kit that has a lot of turf for putting or has holes pre-cut in it, but many will. I've got 4 holes in our kit, and it putts as smooth as any green anywhere. You want that. I mean, if you're going to have the holes, you might as well have the ability to putt. I use it just to practice putting when the simulator itself is not even on. It's just a good place to come out and hit 10-footers and 5-footers, that kind of thing. From an entire base standpoint, for those who use your base, it's really quite unique to see how it's constructed. If we pulled the carpet up and you saw the interlocking pieces of the puzzle, the pre-cut holes, and then how the carpet lays over top, a lot of thought has gone into that.
Yeah, and it really finishes out the room. It gives it a really nice look, for one thing. But also, when we talk about indoor golf, we're not always talking about the technology. It's fantastic and it's amazing, but there's also real benefits to just practicing at home. And that's why we want that green, that realistic feel, so you can roll putts, before you go to bed at night. Just think about doing that night after night after night and what kind of an accomplished putter you could become. So it is intentional. There is a reason why we have premium quality materials, because we know that at the end of the day, you're trying to get better. And you're trying to enjoy it more, but you're also trying to be a better golfer. So let's make it as close to real as we can. And a lot of people like that, and they've ordered a lot of those floors from us.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think that it would blow up in the manner that it has. I founded the company kind of by accident. I bought a SkyTrack years ago and saw how big of a pain in the butt it was to get information, and everything was kind of fragmented at the time. So I kind of backed into the industry that way, kind of trying to create something that was easier for a user to navigate and to get information and then buy product and resources and all that stuff. But I never thought that it would kind of blow up the way that it has. But, kind of being a solo one-person operation to having 65, 70 employees now between the US and Canada, I could have never kind of imagined that it would lead to something like this.
It just fascinates me, though, that for you it came out of being a frustrated consumer, because I think maybe it helped shape your team's approach to dealing with customers.
Right. They're the ones that put food on my table, and so everything that we do is with the customer in mind. We talked about those core values. We always do what's right for the customer, always, even when nobody else is looking. We are there to be a caddy for our customers, to provide them with knowledgeable information that can help them make a purchasing decision. And then after the sale, we're there to support them with any sort of post-purchase questions that they may have. So we really set out to kind of be that caddy for our customer along their journey.
Do the right thing even when no one is watching is part of your core values. I love that part.
We have very high integrity standards, I would say, and always doing what's right when nobody else is looking. Like you said, it's a play on golf, right? We've all kind of been there and seen what can happen in golf when no one's looking. I think that really translates well into business as well.
I'm curious as to if you've been able to develop kind of this is what people most often get wrong when they're putting together their space, and how your team can help them through that. What do you see are the kind of the common miscalculations that a consumer might make it right out of the gate?
That's a really great question. I would say some of the most common gripes and pain points for consumers out of the box is assembly of the overall structure. So we set out, for example, and we created a solution that's very lightweight yet robust, and it's simple for a consumer to put together. One person can put it together in less than 30 minutes, yet it's made of premium quality products.
My last question for you is, what are you proudest of in this journey? And when you think about your team here?
We've got a very, very solid core leadership group, and then all of our employees. Like I said, it took us a long time to kind of get to the point in which we are from a staffing standpoint, really having a team that is bought into the culture through and through. And, like I tell my team all the time, we're just scratching the surface. The golf industry continues its upward trend and its popularity with new golfers and new demographic entering the space every single day. So we have a unique opportunity to be a part of that in introducing new golfers to the game in a non-traditional way that previously they wouldn't have been exposed to. So it's a cool spot to be in, and it's really just beginning. So we're looking forward to the future and helping to continue to grow the game.
We want customers, when they come to our site, to not only see the product, but they can see themselves using the product. So they can see themselves hitting off a mat, hitting into a screen, playing with the simulation software, even training, so learning their data from the launch monitors and all the technology that's out there. It can be pretty daunting, looking up golf simulators and how many websites are out there and how much just information there is. So having a good funnel of, hey, if you come to our site, you're gonna learn about golf simulation first and learn, use cases, and then showing them what they could buy, right? So we have so many different packages for different golfers. If they're looking to improve their game, we have packages tailored for that. If they're looking purely for entertainment, we have that as well. Golfers on a budget, golfers who are looking to have, their foursome play with them, or even up to, 8-player multiplayer, larger groups. And then commercial settings as well. A lot of people are opening new businesses with golf simulators and helping them through that process as well with which technology is best for multiple bays, multiple simulations.
So I know that the Indoor Golf Shop team helps with actually dialing you in on the entire package, from the size of the base to the screen to the surroundings to the sim to the projector to all of that. How do you roll all that into a consumer-friendly presentation on a website?
Oh, it's a beast to do that because there's so much information that goes into it. Like you said, with the room size, they have to see what they can fit. Can they comfortably swing their golf clubs, right? So a lot of people don't think, I got an 8-foot high ceiling, like this should work, right? And it was like, well, have you tried swinging an iron? Have you tried swinging your driver? And the biggest thing too is our sales team. They're fantastic on the phone and helping customers dial in their space, what will work, what won't work. And 9 times out of 10, we can find something to help them with their space if you want to put one of our packages in your room.
How have you seen indoor golf shop change in just the span of 24 to 36 months?
Oh, it's insane. The growth is crazy. It continues to grow. We went from having one warehouse facility to, we have 3 or 4 buildings now just for our product and our manufacturing. So it's really exciting to see the huge growth, not only with golf and as a whole, but indoor golf as well.
So the 3D world allows us to simulate a simulator space. So spin around here and show us how this works. If this is the space for somebody in our audience, how are you helping to fit it and show them before they ever get hardware delivered to the house?
So what we do is we work with customers, or we work with our sales team who talk to the customers, and we get floor plans or measurements or dimensions of the rooms. Some of them are existing rooms, some of them are they haven't even been built, so they're conceptual. So we get those dimensions and build out the spaces, and then we have a couple of design standards or protocols we like when we build the sims out, minimum dimensions, and we spec out the space. Sometimes we'll build one way or we'll build multiple ways so that the customer can visualize the space with the sim built in there. So you can see here we have a room. It's obviously like a recreational bar area. They have a countertop, but when we build it, I think I can get rid of this. But we're able to take the dimensions. This one has a drop down, and so we're able to show what the space looks like, what it feels like. They can get a good grasp of what their swing might be like in there. And we also, I don't know if you can see over here, we'll actually get a nice rendering so they can get a more, instead of this conceptual 3D one, it's more photorealistic so they can imagine what the space looks like in real life.
And through the website, there are some kits, so to speak, that have the dimensions and the sizes all kind of laid out, but you can also customize to a space that might be a little abnormal.
Oh, absolutely. We deal with abnormal dimensions all the time.
The feeling of being too confined in your simulator space is a tough one to overcome if you didn't allow enough space, right? You don't want to be swinging differently than you would outside.
Oh, absolutely not. But that being said, I mean, if you want to play indoors, you want to play indoors. So sometimes, we work with the customers. They're like, okay, we'll make those compromises. I'll only swing right-handed. I'll be closer to the wall because they really want that space, and that's part of the conversation. But we do recommend it for safety and for comfort and obviously enjoyment, that we have good width and good height.
The popularity of the idea of being able to do all this within my own space has really exploded. So how different is that world today from when you first walked into it?
Yeah, it's now mainstream. That's what I call it. Like, it is gone from the corners of the golf industry and golfers' mindsets to like, this is realistic for a lot of folks that didn't think it was going to be realistic for them. And the pricing of different things have come into play for that, but just what's available now. And people are really, really interested in finding a way to make this work at different levels for their home or for their business. And that's what's changed just in a few years.
You may be watching and thinking, well, okay, I have space and I think I know where I could put it, but I don't have the first idea what to do about a projector. I don't think my computer's up to snuff. It's not going to carry the heavy graphics load that most of the software. They have kits that have projector and gaming computer in them, right? I mean, it's fully turnkey if you really want it to be that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we try to kind of leave no stone unturned, I guess. That you don't have any thing else to worry about. You get everything assembled and installed and you're ready to hit a ball right away. That's what we want to have happen.
I know that your product is popular in every climate, in every region of the country, but take a moment as we kind of wrap up our time together and talk to that frozen Midwest golfer who's wondering if they'll ever see green grass again, and how this can get you through the misery of winter.
You know, where their year ended, their golf year ended all too soon. And now it just continues. There's no off season. You just go from your outdoor game and it's shut down. Well, now I've got something at home and I can continue working on my swing and keeping that momentum going, because we all know if you take a long break in golf, you're kind of starting all over again. And it's a rough re-entry back into the outdoor game. So having something at home to work on year round is really, really fun to hear those stories and the appreciation that golfers have that we work with. Because we know, I mean, we're down here in Texas, so we can kind of play year round outside, but we know that a lot of people around the country and around North America that we serve up in Canada as well, they're limited. And this opens up a lot of time for them to now continue working on their game.
Well, I cannot tell you how impressive it's been to watch your team work. Not always in glamorous areas. I mean, if you're sewing fabric all day, every day, that's not glamorous. But your team culture, which is spelled out on a nice big mural on one of your walls, really seems to be lived out by the folks that work with Indoor Golf Shop. And that's the kind of culture I think that the game deserves. Kudos to everybody for a job well done.
Well, thank you. And it's really important. And we know at the end of the day, we're a golf company. And golf has some special characteristics as a sport and as a game. And we've tried to instill some of those, you know, the integrity of the game and the professionalism of the game and those things that we all love about golf. And we've tried to kind of bring that to a business. And I think we're serving our customers the right way.
As we close out our time here in Texas at Indoor Golf Shop, let me add just a couple of comments here if you don't mind, because I know firsthand that the decision to install a golf simulator into whatever space you have, it's not a decision you make casually or flippantly. There's a lot of research and homework and maybe even a little begging that go into this whole thing. And when you do finally get to the point where you're ready to flip the switch, I would think you'd want to be guided through the process by the very best in the business. That's why we made this road trip to Texas, so that we could introduce you not only to the CEO, but also to the designers and the customer service experts, and let you see in the shop how the handcrafting goes into every simulator kit that goes out, no matter what the size, the budget, the launch monitor that you choose. So do yourself a favor, my friends. Check out Indoor Golf Shop on their website or give them a call. When you do, let them know that Michigan Golf Live sent you. Take a look at the promo code in the comments below so that you can get the very best deal possible. And I have no doubt that they will do for you what they did for us in our studio space back in Michigan, and it is absolutely spectacular. So thanks for joining us on this behind-the-scenes tour of Indoor Golf Shop, and enjoy your simulator journey.